Your mind is not your enemy. It's your command center. And right now, it's either programming you for power or quietly training you to fail. Tony Robbins says the quality of your life is shaped in moments you don't even notice. The split second when something goes wrong and you decide what it means. Most people don't change their lives because they don't change that moment. They let fear explain the story. They let doubt speak first. They let old pain write new decisions. But here's the truth most people avoid. Nothing changes out there until something changes in here. Your habits, your income, your confidence, even who you believe you are. All of it follows the language you use in your own head. The questions you ask yourself every day are shaping your future in silence. When you ask, "Why does this always happen to me?" your brain hunts for reasons to stay stuck. But when you ask, "How do I turn this into strength?" your mind shifts from survival to strategy. Tony Robbins doesn't teach motivation. He teaches mental control. Because the moment you learn to direct your focus, your emotions follow. And when your emotions change, your actions change. Change your mind, not tomorrow, not someday, right now. Because the life you want is already waiting on the other side of one decision. Your life is not being controlled by your past, your parents, your mistakes, or even your circumstances. It is being controlled by one thing, and one thing only: the meaning you attach to what happens to you. Tony Robbins says most people don't fail because they lack talent, intelligence, or opportunity. They fail because they live on autopilot. They wake up, repeat the same thoughts, feel the same emotions, take the same actions, and then wonder why nothing ever changes. Day after day, year after year, they rehearse the same mental patterns, and those patterns quietly become a prison. Understand this first. Your brain's #1 job is not to make you successful. It's to keep you safe. And safety, to your brain, means familiar. Even if familiar means pain. Even if familiar means struggle. Even if familiar means disappointment. That's why people stay in jobs they hate, relationships that drain them, and habits that destroy them. Not because they want misery, but because misery they know feels safer than uncertainty they don't. Tony Robbins teaches that the moment your life changes forever is the moment you change what you focus on. Where focus goes, energy flows. Whatever you consistently focus on becomes your emotional reality. If you focus on what you lack, you feel empty. If you focus on what you fear, you feel trapped. If you focus on problems, you feel powerless. But the second you shift your focus to solutions, growth, and possibility, something inside you wakes up. Your posture changes. Your breathing changes. Your decisions change. Most people wait for confidence before they act. That's backwards. Confidence is not something you wait for. It's something you create through action. Tony Robbins says motion creates emotion. When you move your body, when you change your physiology, your emotional state follows. That's why winners don't sit around waiting to feel ready. They act first, and confidence chases them. Here's a hard truth most people don't want to hear. Your excuses sound logical, but they are still excuses. You say you don't have time. You say you don't have money. You say you don't have support. But Tony Robbins reminds us that people with far less have done far more. The difference is not resources, it's resourcefulness. It's the ability to find a way when the mind screams that there is none. Your standards determine your destiny. Not your goals, your standards. Goals are what you aim for. Standards are what you live by. Anyone can set a goal. Very few people raise their standards. The moment you decide, "I don't do this anymore," your life begins to change. When you decide that quitting is no longer an option, your brain starts looking for solutions instead of exits. When you decide that average is unacceptable, your actions rise to meet that standard. Tony Robbins often says that people get rewarded in public for what they practice in private. What are you practicing when no one is watching? Are you practicing discipline or distraction? Are you practicing growth or comfort? Every small choice you make is a vote for the person you are becoming. And the scary part is this: you don't wake up one day and suddenly become your future self. You are becoming that person right now, one decision at a time. Your emotions are not random, they are signals. Depression often comes from living in the past. Anxiety comes from living in the future. Peace lives in the present. When you learn to control your focus, you learn to control your emotional state. Tony Robbins teaches that you can change how you feel in seconds, not by changing your circumstances, but by changing your state. Stand up straight. Breathe deeply. Move with intensity. Speak with certainty. Your body will follow your command if you give it. One of the biggest lies people believe is that success will make them happy. Tony Robbins flips that belief upside down. He says happiness is not the result of success. Success is the result of progress. When you feel like you're growing, learning, and moving forward, you feel alive. When you feel stuck, even luxury feels empty. Progress equals happiness. Growth equals fulfillment. Your identity shapes your behavior. If you see yourself as someone who quits, you will quit. If you see yourself as someone who pushes through, you will find strength you didn't know you had. Tony Robbins teaches that lasting change happens when you change who you believe you are. Not I'm trying to be disciplined, but I am disciplined. Not I want confidence, but I am the kind of person who takes bold action. Language matters. The words you use shape your identity. Pain is not your enemy. Pain is a teacher. Most people run from pain, numb it, or avoid it. But Tony Robbins says pain can be the most powerful driver of change, if you use it correctly. When pain becomes stronger than your excuses, change becomes inevitable. The key is to associate massive pain with staying the same, and massive pleasure with growth. When staying stuck hurts more than moving forward, you move. Your past does not define you unless you keep reliving it. You are not what happened to you. You are what you decide it means. Two people can go through the same experience and come out completely different. One becomes bitter. The other becomes unstoppable. The difference is not the event, it's the interpretation. Tony Robbins teaches that meaning is everything. Change the meaning, and you change the emotion. Change the emotion, and you change the action. Change the action, and you change your life. Most people overestimate what they can do in a week and underestimate what they can do in a year. Small, consistent actions compound into massive transformation. You don't need to change everything today. You need to change one thing, and then repeat it. Discipline is not about being extreme, it's about being consistent. Success is boring. It's the same simple actions done daily. Long after the excitement fades, Tony Robbins reminds us that your environment is stronger than your willpower. If you want to change your life, change what you surround yourself with. Change what you listen to. Change what you watch. Change who you spend time with. Your standards rise or fall to the level of your environment. If you surround yourself with excuses, excuses become normal. If you surround yourself with growth, growth becomes inevitable. You don't need permission to become the person you want to be. You don't need approval. You don't need validation. You need a decision. A real decision. Not a wish, not a hope, not a maybe someday. A decision that says, this is who I am now. Tony Robbins says that a true decision cuts off all other options. It's not, I'll try. It's, I will. Change is uncomfortable. Growth is uncomfortable. Staying the same is comfortable, but comfort is expensive. It costs you your potential. It costs you your future. It costs you the life you could have lived. The pain of discipline is temporary. The pain of regret lasts forever. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are not too late. You are simply one decision away from a completely different direction. Change your focus. Change your standards, change your identity, change your actions, and your life will have no choice but to follow. Tony Robbins says the quality of your life is the quality of the questions you ask yourself. Ask better questions, get better answers. Ask, what can I control right now? Ask, what's the next step? Ask, how can I grow from this? Those questions turn obstacles into fuel. This is not about motivation. Motivation fades. This is about conditioning your mind, training it, leading it, refusing to let it run you on old programs. When you take control of your mind, you take control of your life. Change your mind, change your standards, change your story. And the life you've been waiting for will stop feeling like a dream and start becoming your reality.